So let's start here. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of information about pyramids. Pyramids are named by the shape of the base. All faces are always triangles. So it's super important that you understand that there is a difference between a slant height and a height. So our slant height is the height of the triangular face. So the slant height is the height of the triangular face. And that is going to form a 90-degree angle. So think about that. That might mean we'll be using some Pythagorean theorem here. The actual height here, that is called height, is the height. When it says height, it is the height of the pyramid. From point to base, and it forms a 90-degree angle as well. And then you just have like the base edges and the lateral edges. The lateral edges are on the triangular faces, and the base edges are on the actual base. I can get it. I'm wandering around.
You're the greatest.
Someone should get you a bar stool to sit on.
I don't like to sit, if you haven't noticed.
We should get you an elliptical machine.
What? Okay, Hannah. I've already had 2 babies, all right? That enough gives you that. Babies do that to you, too.
Yeah, like when you get older.
Okay, surface area using nets. Surface area using nets. So we are going to be finding the surface area of this. You need to
So instead of a stool, we should get you like an elliptical or like.
No, I'm good. Don't worry.
Stairmaster.
Okay, so we are going to be using slant height here, L, to find the area of each of these triangles. So you will need to use the slant height to find the area of each triangle. So the area of a triangle is going to be 1/2 the slant height times whatever your base is. This would just be an area of base times base. And what do you think you're going to do when you get all the areas?
Add them together.
So I don't really need to go over all of these with you guys. Just realize that this is another regular polygon, which means we would have to use those wonderful specials. What's up?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. These little cardboard doodads you got?
So we have a surface area formula. So we're going to try this with the formula, and if this works out for you guys, I will give you the formula for the other ones too and see if that works better for you. So instead of drawing out the actual like nets every single time, if you want to do that, you can just know the formula. So surface area of a pyramid is 1/2 the perimeter of the pyramid times the height of each triangular face. Thank you, Dr. Peltner. Thank you, Hannah.
You seemed so taken aback when you were like, "There you go."
He doesn't take it aback. I think he's used to me.
What? I thought it was funny.
Okay, so when we're looking at the perimeter of the pyramid here, we are talking about the base perimeter. So like this has a base perimeter of 20. Do you guys see that? Oh, not 20, sorry. 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. Do you guys see that? Yeah.
It's like the base when there's nothing that's parallel to that.
It's a pyramid. It's not a prism. Pyramids come to one point. So, that is the perimeter of that. Each of the lateral faces, which is your slant height, this is your slant height, will have the same slant height here. You are multiplying it by that, so let's think about this really. If you get the perimeter of this base, that is going to be 80. If you multiply it by its slant height here, if you multiply it by its slant height here and multiply it by 1/2, aren't you basically multiplying it by the area of a triangle? So you're doing each one separately but together. So you're doing 20 times the slant height, times 20 times the slant height, times 20 times the slant height, times 20 times the slant height, multiplied by 1/2. That's basically taking the area and putting it all into one. So for this we would do, the perimeter is 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20, which is 80. We have a slant height of what? 26.9. And the area of our base is 20 times 20, which is 400. Do you guys see that? So we can just put that into our formula. So our surface area is 1/2 times 80 times 26.9 plus 400. Go ahead and put that directly into your calculator how you see it. And I will write the formula for the surface area of a prism on the board for you guys. Do you have what Miss Deppen has, so I write it the same way she has it? Yeah, you do. You do. I'm on this one.
Cool.
I'm just going to write that on the board for prisms for everyone if they want it. If this makes more sense. If this makes more sense. So I'm trying to show you guys two different ways, and I will put the area, the surface area on the board too for a prism as well. Okay? In just a second. So you can go either way with it. If you like nets better because you visualize it better, that's fine. If you like that formulas better, use the formulas. Does everybody understand that? What did we get for the surface area?
1,476.
1,476? No, point nothing? And that would just be centimeters squared because it's surface area. Okay, let's try this formula on the next one. So we'll just do formulas on this one. Yes, and it's almost going to be the exact same thing for prisms, just you won't have the 1/2. Remember, the 1/2 is there because it's a triangular face. Do you see how that's 1/2 is there? Because you're literally doing a triangle no matter what if it's a pyramid. And the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. This perimeter is basically taking into account the whole entire, every single base of every single triangle. Okay, so let's figure this out. Our perimeter is going to be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, right? Which is just 16, right? Our slant height is what? 7. And our base area is a square again, so we just do 4 times 4, which is still 16. So we have 1/2 of 16 times 7 plus 16 to get our surface area.
Wow.
I'm trying to show you guys two different ways. Do you guys see that? I'm trying to try to meet everybody's needs based on where you're at.
Okay, this is so much easier.
That's fine though. I just want you guys to realize that I'm trying to meet both. Like there's different ways you can do things.
I'm just not.
So what do you guys get for the surface area here? Did somebody else get 72?
I'm putting this in my
Yes.
calculator.
Why does that say 0.516?
BQ.
You didn't multiply it. It's squared. We're not finding volume. We're finding area. We're just finding like a shaded region. I guess we're only doing square pyramids? I don't know. Okay. But do we have the slant height in this one?
No.
Do we need the slant height?
No.
Yes, we do. So let's think about this. The height is dropped to a right angle to the base. Do you see that triangle I just drew in here? Okay. If 15, and this is 15, what is this partial length here? What is that partial length there? It's dropped to the center of that square. I don't know how you're understanding what I'm doing, Dylan, because you're not even paying attention, really. Well, if this is to the center of the square and the whole length is 15, what is that? It's just half of it, right? So what theorem can we use to find the slant height? We can use the Pythagorean theorem. So I have 18 squared plus 7.5 squared equals the slant height squared. Come on, stop.
Wait, how did you say?
Okay, so I just got the question, just 1 second. I just got the question, why are we doing this? Well, part of the formula has a slant height here. That is the height of your faces. So that's the height of the triangular faces. We don't know that right now. Do you see that? So we need to find it, so we drew in this triangle. We know this is a square because both sides are the same. It is known that a height of a pyramid drops to the center. So half of 15 is 7.5. Does that answer the question you were about to ask? Okay, what's 18 squared? What? 324? And what's 7.5 squared?
56.5.
Okay, what does that add it together? Okay, take the square root of that, and what do we get? Yeah.
We get 19.5.
19.5? You guys agree? Okay, so we have 1/2 times the perimeter, which is 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15, which is 60. We just find our slant height as 19.5. And our base area, which is a square there, is 15 times 15. So 15 times 15 is 225. Okay, go ahead and get your surface area. What? 810? Is it starting to make any more sense to you, Corey? No. Okay. Tell me what you need, okay? Is this making more sense this way than the last way for you guys? Okay. Well, I'll go back and when we're done and do a few other ones then. The next one is a little bit challenging though because we have to find the base area of this. And what shape is the base? So we have everything we need except for our base area, and we do have a hexagon there, so we'll talk about using that trig in a second. So our perimeter of this one is 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5, 6 times. So you could even just do 6 times 4.5. Okay, and so what is 6 times 4.5? 27? So we have a perimeter of 27. What is our slant height? 6. We have a slant height of 6. And now comes our beautiful base area. But it's a hexagon, guys.
Corey, if you make an album, I'll buy it.
So we have a hexagonal base. Look what I just drew. Isn't that making your guys' heart skip a beat here that you have to now use trigonometry again?
Son of a biscuit.
Hey. So,
I said biscuit.
I know. What is 4.5 divided by 2?
Y'all heard it here. Brad doesn't like 2.2.
It's not 2.25. So our little triangle has a 2.25 half base here. Do you guys see that?
So do you prefer rolls or?
Okay, just stop. I have a lot to get through. Okay. Each of the angles of a hexagon are? Who remembers the angles of a hexagon? You have it on that post-it note.
108 hexagon?
Yes.
It's 67.8.
No, you're not even looking at the hexagon. That's a hexagon.
120.
120, and half of 120 is
60.
So this is 60 here.
Which one is 108?
That is
Ah,
Thank you, Corey. So we need to find the height. What trig function can we use to find the height? Tangent, opposite over, adjacent.
60.
Equals
Height
over.
2.25.
Good, so multiply both sides by 2.25.
I feel like when something is just trig, when a problem is just something that's trig, I can do it.
It's when you have to do 200 other things with it.
Yeah, and then it freaks me out so much that it like, yeah.
Is it 3.8?
3.897.
It's the same concept.
I'm going to go with 3.8971 here. So we do the area is 1/2 base times height. So that's 1/2 of 2.25 times 3.8971. Okay, how many triangles is this though? This is one triangle. So whatever we get out, we have to multiply by 12. Okay, what is that out? 8.76? Anybody else get 8.76? Okay, we're getting different numbers, so somebody else needs to put it in their code. You got 4.38. Did you forget to maybe multiply it by a half, Ayana? Maybe you forgot to multiply by the half. 4.38 times 12. What is that? 52.56? Okay, now we can get that all into the formula. We have area equals 1/2 the perimeter of 27 times our slant height of 6 plus our base area of 52. Yes.
Easy. Is it? No. 133.56.
And that's inches squared. Okay. So, oops, I lost the one. Hopefully this is making a little bit more sense to you now that we're doing it this way. This isn't volume. We're still on surface area. You are right, though, if it was volume.
There we go. Now I got you.
Oh my goodness, this is another never-ending packet. Okay. So, we know to find the surface area, we do 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height plus the base area. Uh-oh. I don't know my base at all, do I? No, but do you guys see that we have a triangle here so we can find half of the base? Do you see that triangle there? Shh. Do you guys see the triangle that's being drawn in? So what theorem do we need to use?
Pythagorean.
Our Pythagorean. So I do 12 squared plus b squared equals 13 squared.
Have you heard of the Pythagorean cup or the goblet? When you pour, it's designed so that it's supposed to increase people's modesty when you
What?
pour a certain amount of water.
1 second. I'm still trying to teach Nick. Wait until 9 because I have to get through all this and read through the formula. Yeah. No. No, 13. Your right angle is right here, Ayana, so that's the opposite. Did you say something, Melinda, about... Do you understand that we have the slant height here? 13-inch slant height? We are finding the bases to be able to add for the perimeter. No, we can't find the B yet because we don't know what our bases are.
Yeah.
Base area is base area. We need to know what each of these side lengths are so we can actually find that.
So we're using that as a Pythagorean theorem. Why do we use that?
Because that will give us half of the length of the bases. So we can just multiply that by 2, so then we can finally get our perimeter and our base area. Does that make sense? So I think that's b squared equals 25, so b is 5. So what is your base then? Your whole entire base is? So this is 10 by 10. Do you see now why we had to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So our perimeter is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 40. And we have a slant height of 13. And our base area is 10 times 10, which is 100. Good. This is what I'm talking about and why you don't understand. So stop telling me that you don't do that type of stuff. I'm talking to not you, Nick. Don't worry. What did we get? 360 centimeters squared. Okay, volume of a pyramid.
I'm looking forward to the day when they can just put a chip in your head and plug you in.
No. So the pyramid and prism have the same height and the same square base. So these two are the same. Do you guys see that? The same height and the same square base. But one is a prism and one is a pyramid. So when the pyramid is filled with sand and poured into the prism 3 times, it takes 3 of them. So we know that the volume for a prism, what did we say the volume for a prism was? Base area times height. So if it takes 3 pyramids to fit in there, we know that this means the volume of a prism is 3 times the volume of a pyramid, which means that it's basically the same exact thing, except it's going to be a third of a prism. So the relationship is that a pyramid is a third of its prism's equal base, like thing there. Okay. So that is the relationship there. So we're going to do this. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base times height. Height is the height of the whole pyramid. And big B is the area of the base. So big B is still the area of the base. So we have 2 more slides to get through. Get that stuff written down.
It says hole. I thought it said whale pyramid for
Sorry. That's a new type of pyramid that's going to be invented soon.
No, I like it.
Yeah, so Pythagorean goblet is a goblet that if you pour too much wine in it, it actually dumps it through the stem onto your lap. So it's supposed to, like, not make people greedy.
Okay, interesting. So we need to do volume equals 1/3 base area times height. Do we have the height of this whole entire pyramid? What is it? Do we have enough information to be able to find the base area? Do we have a base and a height? No, this is not the height. This is the hypotenuse. We have the base, but do we have the height? No, of the actual triangle's base. Remember, those are separate heights. So how can we find this side here? We're just going to continue to love the Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared.
No, you're going to continue to love it.
Well, you guys are going to have to love it if you're going to pass this test, because it's continuing to happen here. So a is 8. So now can we find the base area? It's 1/2 of 8 times 6. Why is it 1/2 of 8 times 6? It's a triangle. So we have 24 for that. So we do 1/3 times 24 times 15 in our calculators to get our volume. And what do we get?
20.
120? And its volume, so Ayana, this is the cubed one. You confused on something? Taking it in? Yeah, what's up, Madison? So we need to be able to, big B is the base area. So our base here is this triangle. So to find the area of that base, we need the base and the height of the triangle. Well, we don't have the height of the triangle, do we? Of the base triangle. Do you see that? This piece here only. Do you understand what I'm saying, Madison? I'm talking directly to you, so you need to make sure you're responding to me. So we don't have this here. It's a right triangle, so if we know 2 sides, we can find the third side using the Pythagorean theorem. Does that make sense now? Okay, we have a rectangular pyramid here. A rectangular pyramid here. Do we have So let's write volume equals 1/3 base area times height. Do we have enough information to find the base area? Yeah, we just multiply 10 and 8, which is 80. Do we have enough information for the height of our pyramid? No, but could we find it? Guys, what do you think we're going to be using again? The Pythagorean theorem. So what is this little piece here? Be careful. It is parallel with the 8. So it is half of 8, which is 4. So to find our height here, we're going to do 4 squared plus 8 squared equals 14 squared. What's the square root of 180?
Wait,
What did I do wrong?
how's it 4? Oh.
Do you see that this is 10 and that's 8 and it's parallel to the side that's 8? Okay. Let's get more decimals in there. 13.416. I just want you, it doesn't matter that much. I look at your guys' work. I just want to get it more exact here. So our height is actually going to be 13.416. So we do our volume by doing 1/3 of 80 times 13.416. And what do you guys get? 0.76? Did anybody else get 357.76? Okay. And it's cubic because it's volume. Did you get that? You're putting it in now. You got a different thing than we did. Why are you dividing by 2? You're supposed to divide by... There you go. We're going to skip example 3 and do example 4 because it's another wonderful pentagon. So volume equals 1/3 the base area times the height. We need to do a lot of work to find this base area, don't we? So we know this whole, every single one of these is 8, right? So if I draw my little triangle in, this is going to be 4. Corey? Pentagon. What's the degree? 108. What's half of 108? Close though. 54. So we can find the area of that little triangle there. And what trig function are we going to have to use to find our height? What? Always the tangent, I feel like. So tangent of 54 equals h over 4. So go ahead and multiply tangent of 54 by 4 for me. 5 point what? 5 point. Okay. So we're going to find 1/2 of 4 times 5.506. And how many triangles are in a pentagon? 10. So what is 1/2 of 4 times 5.506? What is 1/2 of 4 times 5.506? I know I'm losing you guys, but what is 1/2 of 4 times 5.506? I haven't gotten there yet. How? Okay, it's 11 point what?
0, 1, 2.
And then you multiply that by 10. So is that 110.12? Did anybody get 110.12? So what is this that we just found? The big B, right? The base area. So that's 110.12. Do we have the height of our pyramid? 10, because we're not looking at the slant height. So we do volume equals 1/3 of 110.12 times 10. So, our final answer is, Hannah, 550.6 centimeters cubed. Okay. Let's go back to prisms real quick.